Spiel 2022 Day 2.
Day 2, mate.
We're playing more games, more things, and we're here. What have we played?
A bunch of games. We played a bunch of games together,
together.
Maddie,
It's been a fun.
And the first game we played of the day was Tribes of the Wind.
Yes!
Which is a game I was very excited for.
It's so beautiful.
It is very,
honestly,
very pretty.
very big Ghibli vibes, which is why I was like, yes, I'll join you. Please, I'll come and play. It's very cute.
Yeah, it's like very Nausicaa-esque.
Yeah.
It's like a polluted world. You're trying to clear the pollution out. You're a tribe. Use the wind. You live on top of trees. You build villages and temples. But you actually, to do all of that, you basically just play cards each turn.
Yeah.
It's like fairly simple. It's a lot simpler than I thought it might be.
We turned up being like, oh, this is going to be very confusing. But honestly, you're just playing cards to do any actions, and you kind of do one action at a time, which means you're not trying to think of a million things at once. And the cards are beautiful. The art is literally just like Ghibli scenes, like kind of pretty hand-painted stuff. It's adorable. It's so pretty. And you're also doing, basically with the cards, you're using different elements. So you can kind of see the backs of what other cards people have to either side of you, and you're trying to use basically what they have and what you have to kind of do actions. So if I'm like, oh, I'm playing a flame card, and I've got more flame cards than both Matt, who's next to me, and the other person, I can do the more powerful action. And it's basically just stuff like that.
Yeah, that is
simple.
kind of it. Like, and then you've got your player board and you can build villages on there. But like you say, like most of it is just you play one card a turn. Most of them involve you comparing to your neighbours, and then you do what it says. So it's like it started to move pretty quickly. Like we played a few turns.
You played a couple of times and I was like, oh, okay, this, I got it. Like, I can do the whole thing now. I don't need someone to like sit through the whole thing. It was great.
Yeah, it's quite nice. I don't know if they just included them for the demo we were playing, but like our cards are in like almost like Scrabble racks, so you can see the backs of the cards.
I was wondering that. I feel like it must be. Because you need to see, unless other people just like, you're like having to hold them up and show people. But I feel like they must be, because you need to see. It's very nice. Like, it's nicely laid out. All the meeples are lovely. Like the little villages. You've got it's sky.
Like I think they're called
Windriders. Windriders. Yeah. There are people that can kind of go from forest to forest, building villages. Because you're living above the pollution, you got to live in the treetops. Hence why you're tribes of the wind. Yeah. It's very fun.
Cool. I liked it a lot. And I think they said it's like 20 minutes per player. It goes up to, I think 4 or 5. I think maybe 4 or 5, but so not massively long. And like a few turns in, I kind of had a good grip of it. And I want to play more of it.
Yeah, same. Fun, good vibes, beautiful. What's not to love, basically? Yeah.
I like a lot.
That's it. Next up, another game that we played together, which was a cooperative game, is Sky Team? Is it Sky Team? Yeah, I'm just double checking the name. Sky Team. Basically, you are co-pilots trying to land a plane after, I'm assuming, something has gone wrong.
Well, it didn't go wrong until we got involved, I think. Because it was nice and level, it was coming in. Like...
And then we messed it all up. We crashed into another plane.
Yeah, literally on the first play, the first go we had, like the first turn, I think we just slammed straight into another plane and lost.
Yeah. And she was like, let's just reset that and we'll go back through. But it's great. You basically share like a cockpit. You've got all of these symbols where you can place dice. So you're rolling dice, you see the numbers on them, and you're placing them on various symbols like communications. You can place on a communications die and remove a plane out of the way so you don't crash into it. And so various things like that. What else was there? And we had slightly different actions. You were pilot, I was co-pilot.
I could, ironically, now my voice is going, I could communicate better with the radio tower. I think you were in charge of like brakes.
Oh yeah, I had to like get ready to brake because we started like zooming into land. We might have a clear runway, but if I hadn't prepped the brakes ahead of time, we would have just crashed again. We would never have made it to Montreal Airport. I think we were trying to head
Montreal.
to.
I think they said there'll be 12 in the game. So we were playing like an early prototype. It's out next year, I think they said. So. It was like, when we looked at it, because you just have it was like a full control panel of airplane stuff.
Seems complicated.
With the little plane picture that like tilts.
You can see which way
you're
going.
You have to try and like make your dice as close as together as possible.
That's something that's really nervous.
Tilt too far. And Like,
'Cause
then
you're
you add dice together and you go too fast, which is what happened to us, but...
Because the problem is you're both rolling your dice hidden, and then you're taking one turn after the other. So Matt might put like a 5 down, ready to like balance the plane. But if I then put like a 1 down, because that's all I've got left, suddenly like it really overbalances to Matt's side, and we might start like flipping over and be screwed. Because you can't communicate. The silence in the cockpit. You just have to do your actions with whatever dice you have. It's really fun.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. Like, and we got that on our second try. We got pretty close to coming in.
I feel like we really got it. After we crashed into a few planes, we're back at our jobs. We're ready to take another go. It was,
What pilot hasn't just had a few where you crash the first couple
Hey,
times,
you
and
know,
then you've got your eye in. So.
You win some, you lose some. Not all planes land. It's fine. You know, we're trying.
Yeah, and it was like I think we were playing for like 15 minutes, I think. So it was pretty short.
It was pretty quick. It was so easy to set up, so quick to play. It was really fun, just fun little game.
Let's go.
It was good.
Then after that, I went and played. Well, we played a game together called Quoridor.
Quoridor.
Like Quoridor with a Q. And I think it's been out a little while, but we were playing like a big version of it.
Yeah, it was lovely, like a big wooden version, like I'm at like I don't know, a pub or something, like a Skittles thing.
Yeah,
it was
just
fun.
a game of like blocking.
Yeah,
basically.
Once you've done it once, you're like, okay.
Yeah.
I did it. Like, you're having to move along a board. You can basically move one square at a time, and your opponent on their action can either move a square or place a block in front of you. So you're kind of like ending up with all these mazes, and you're trying to like path each other to get to either side, which is fun. It's fun, like blocking each other, but that's kind of it.
Yeah, and then I went and played another game of the same series, because they all start with Q, called Koale.
Of course.
Which I think is new for the show. And it was really neat. So it looks very pretty. It is on a board that has like the board is plastic, and then there are like almost little pebbles built into the board in a little grid. And then you have wooden pebbles on top of that. So there are, to begin with, there are just neutral pebbles. And then you and your opponent have pebbles as well. And what happens is you put your pebble on top of one of the stacks of pebbles, and then you pick up the whole stack, and you can move basically like in 4 cardinal directions. But every space you go on, you drop 1, so it works like Mancala. So you pick everything up, then you go like 1, 1, 1, 1. And you're literally just trying to get 4 in a row of your colour. But obviously your opponent can then, they place theirs and they move stuff, and it might have your pieces in that stack. So they are distributing your pieces around as well.
Oh no!
And that's basically it. Like, it was really fun. Like, I was playing with the PR for the publisher. We did actually end up in a draw. It was very close.
That's impressive.
And
the PR.
She was running me through. She was like, well, by the time you use all your pieces, like, one of you has won. And then we just happened to draw.
Oh wow!
But it was fun. Like, it was really nicely produced. Like, again, the whole thing is just this board and a load of wooden pebbles, and then it just you play that, and you're just looking for 4 in a row. It was cool.
Simple, fun.
Yeah,
love that.
It was
amazing, fantastic. Next up, something that I played again without you, and played with me in, is Splendor Duel. I haven't played Splendor, but this is Splendor Duel, which is a co-op game where you're facing each other, trying to collect jewels, trying to basically buy up as much luxury jewelry as possible. You got your gems, you got your rings, diadems, necklaces. You're collecting those to become rich and powerful and influential, basically. It's really, really fun. I think one of the things that differs as well is there's like a board where you have lots of different colored gems on that you can pick from, and you have to pick from them in like rows or like diagonally, a bit like a match 3, but you're also not trying to match them, because if you match them, the other person gets a prestige. You get a prestige, a little scroll, fancy scroll, and that means they get a free grab of a gem. So I think that's quite different, but it's really fun because then you have pieces of gold that block you, so you're like, oh, I can see an onyx, a pearl, and a diamond I want, but there's like, they're not in a row because there's a gold in the way. I suddenly can't get that, and so you can't just pick up wherever you want. It makes this interesting dynamic. And when you're putting new gems on the table, they have to go in this like spiral order, so you end up with like weird layout that kind of makes it complicated, but in a really, really fun way. It's really, really good. The other thing I think is new is the cards now have abilities.
Oh, yeah.
Which is really fun, because my favorite is one where you can steal gems from someone else. and I stole a lot of Mia's gems, and she got very upset, and I felt very bad. But I got very rich out of it, which is it's all
crush
about.
everyone else, make your own wealth.
Exactly. So yeah, if you want to be, more than a capitalist, just stealing gems from people, then it's really fun. The art is nice. You just got like nice, pretty drawings of gems and things like that. It's really fun. Again, I haven't played Splendor.
Excited for it. Like you described it, because I love Splendor. I have not played Splendor Duel, but I saw someone carrying a copy of it, and one of the most exciting things was the box is very small.
It's lovely and tiny.
Because original Splendor is too big.
Oh wow.
There's like a lot of just air in that box. But someone will buy with like Diddy Splendor Duel.
Yeah. This is definitely like a game you can just like pop in a bag and take to someone's house. It just is really. It's nice to have stuff like that. It wasn't too long. I honestly have no idea how long we played for, because I was just like wrapped up in it. I didn't even notice the time, which I think is a good sign, basically. Yeah, it's, again, obviously I haven't played Splendor, so I can't say comparison-wise, but it was fun doing this kind of competitive, just 1v1. I'm going to steal your gems, you're going to try and steal my gems. It's great, it's very fun.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't played before and you enjoyed it, like
that
exactly. Hopefully it's the mark of like a good game.
You don't need to have played Splendor, I guess, you know? You can just jump in with a Duel,
All right, you also played Redwood, right?
Yes, yeah. Me and Wheels went off and played Redwood, which is a game where you're hanging out in beautiful kind of American and national park environments like redwood forests, and you're trying to take beautiful pictures, and it's really, really fun. You basically have this circular board with all different environments that you are able to take pictures in, and you have a photographer, and each round you can move a certain amount, and you can also have a lens shape. So these are like see-through plastic shapes that you use to like place on top of the board to move, so you only have limited like styles of movement, and then when you get there you have limited like lens shapes, which is really interesting, because like there's like animals and flowers dotted around the board that you're trying to capture, but if you can't measure it beforehand, so if you just place stuff down and you're like just out of shot of getting this really nice deer picture, you're like, I've ruined it, like my camera's just, I can't quite catch it. It was good. It was really, really pretty game. It's beautiful art, which obviously is always a selling point for me. I'm very shallow, so I'm not against that. It was good, yeah. I lost out of everybody. I think I was like taking my time to get to know it, and then now I would like to play it again, actually knowing what I'm doing and going for it. But I enjoyed it. You had like a look at it.
Yeah, once I saw like a prototype of it at Gen Con, and it just seemed really cool. Like it kind of has the X-Wing like movement templates where you kind of like slide your piece along. And like you say, you've kind of got, it's almost like a war game in some ways, because you're like you're moving your figure, and then like you've got like a line of fire.
Yeah, like
for a camera.
A cone that I can be shooting deer and flowers in, but it's a nice shooting. It's with a camera, which is cute. And another fun thing is when you're going around, once I've used a certain movement and a certain like lens shape, someone else, that's taken off the board of options, so someone else can't use that unless they give you a victory point, which is in the shape of a pine cone, because it's natural and adorable, obviously.
Like photography games, like because we played one yesterday as well that we didn't talk about for Picture Perfect. There's actually one just on the stall, just out of shot.
It's everywhere.
It seems like a trend this year.
It's popular. People
photography games.
Getting into it, you know, who's getting film cameras. It's, you know, it's fun. It's a fun little hobby. It's good. It was a good game.
Right. And finally, something we also both played together.
Yes.
Which was fairly light, but I enjoyed it a lot.
I really
it's
enjoyed
0 to 100. Which definitely sounds like a game show. Yeah,
it feels like a game show. It very much feels like that. It is basically trivia questions about that have like number answers, and you're trying to reach a certain number. So it could be like, the number is 70, and I have a bunch of trivia questions like, how many years does it take Uranus to get around the sun in Earth years? And I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds like it could be maybe 70. I'll play it, and then when I flipped over, it was 84. So I was like, close.
Yeah,
but
that's pretty good.
Someone else got closer. That's basically it.
Yeah, it's like, like you say, you have the answer, but it's not necessarily the right answer to any of the questions you have.
Yeah, right.
So I had like, how high does a flea jump in centimeters? And like, how old was Einstein when he like came up with E equals MC squared? So they're all over the place.
Yeah, could be anything.
But it kind of makes it fun because it's not like standard knowledge, at least nothing that
yeah,
I do.
if you know the answer to these questions is because you have a very specific niche knowledge, or maybe you're just great at trivia, and great for you, well done, congratulations, that's not me. But it's fun because because you don't feel bad about not knowing it, because it's kind of like, no one is going to know this,
Yeah.
it's fine, and you're also learning a fun little fact, like, I love that. You can't beat it.
Yeah, and then like the one that's furthest away then just becomes the new round, so like it constantly changes.
Yeah.
And that's basically, I think there was a card where you could say, oh, I think I'm really close. So as long as it's within 5 either way, you get like an extra point, which in this case is getting another card out of your hand.
Which is great.
You're just trying to get rid of the cards from your hand. So
Yeah, so if you're the furthest away, you get an extra card, and it's kind of you're racing to try and get your hands down to as little as possible. There's also a card where you can kind of minus 20 or 50 or
you
add
get like
it.
a one-use
So
power.
if you're like, I feel like this is close, but maybe a bit off, you can pop a card like that on to alter your score. But I didn't know any of my facts close enough that I was like, I'm not confident to use this. I'm just guessing. But it's amazing, like how close you actually get. Like I was like, I have no idea, and then everything we played, we were all pretty close every time. Just
yeah.
I mean, between like
although
10 and 50
I vastly overestimated how high fleas jump.
I would have too. It's 30 centimeters.
Yeah, I think
Right,
it was something like
so-
that. But yeah, and then they said they're working on a sequel. It's like 0 to 1,000 even. So yeah, they're already working on another one of these. But it was really fun. It reminded me of the Timeline, which I think is a really fun game where you're basically doing the same thing but with dates. So it's like you say, it was like a fun trivia game where you don't actually need to know trivia, which is always nice.
It's nice. For people who are forgetful like me, it's fantastic. It's great. But that's pretty much
that's day
our
2 of
day.
Essen, I guess.
Wrapped up. It's been a great day. There is still so much to play. There is so much happening, and we're just trying to pick away the pieces. But we've had a great time, and thank you for watching along. And we will see you tomorrow. If you want to see more, you can obviously head over to Dicebreaker.com, where you guys are popping up news and articles of the things that we're seeing over Essen, so you can kind of really get into specific games, things like that. Anything they should look out for?
Yeah, Mian's written up about Wingspan Asia, which we spoke about yesterday on here. We also played Frostgrave again, because that's out soon. I wrote up some more thoughts on Sky Team, and then there's some news bits as well coming out of the show.
Keep an eye out, there are things happening, and obviously we have more videos coming, so stick around, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and you won't miss it. But until then, thank you for joining us, and I hope you have a lovely day. Bye!
Bye-bye.